Yeah. No, I mean what did you think of that lady? Like what she said about Kenya? I mean, she didn't get a lot of pushback because everybody was liking what she was saying.
No, so you're right. I think that the thing about her is that so like I said, I don't think she speaks for most women. In fact, not I think I know she doesn't. I think in this case, she's dating dude, and that's a great thing. And like you and I both know, Africa is a very classist continent. Ghana, the same thing as Kenya or Nigeria because you're British influenced. I can tell by the way she's talking, she doesn't come from means. And I hate to say it, but that's the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, I could tell
So
too.
the
Yeah, I could tell too.
yeah,
Like I wouldn't, if I was single, I wouldn't be dating a girl like that. That's like
exactly, right? So
absolutely
the
not.
dude who she's with, does she love him? I don't think so. I think he's a means to an end. And the
Yeah,
moment he says, I can't bring the same kind of money that that I've been used to, she's gonna leave him right away. And if not, she's
yeah,
gonna be having her ticket and looking for somebody else who can do the same kind of providing. That's a fact.
yeah, yeah. Because see, a lot of these guys also send money back when when they are done tricking and they come to the US. They still send money to these women. You know.
Yeah, it's and unfortunately, like she was speaking to a welcoming audience of people who wanted to hear what she's saying, thinking that
Exactly.
that's what, you know, the truth is. I'm the one who was talking about if you're looking for wife material, you got to go to a church or you got to go to a place where, because
Oh, so
again,
that
these
was you
societies
then. I
are
heard that. Yeah.
that was me. That was me. You got to go to places conservative. But if you're talking about doing the stuff like Big Boss is trying to go do in South Africa and Kenyan, shout out because I see him in the chat. He's going to be going to Kenya. I know he's going to be coming soon. Can't wait to meet you. We got a welcoming committee, by the way. You just let me know what flight number, I'll make sure that we have to wait in for you. Um, but the idea that, you can have just any woman. I mean, if you're talking about just paying for sex, you can do that pretty much anywhere. And
Yeah,
so,
you can do that
as
even
much as
here. Like,
someone like Austin or KG may deny that the sex tourists, they are the passport bros, they act like it, even though they've denied the name, right? Um,
yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah. I
Boss
mean, that's what they do.
is a sex tourist and all that whole crowd. And that's one thing. And again, that does not align with African culture overall and in general
It,
as a
do- and
continent.
yes, and there will be pushback. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't align because of how naturally we are conservative. It's not really. They made it sound like a race thing, or like maybe us preferring white people over Black Americans. And I said, I've never heard that before.
No, it's not. Like what I was trying to say, and some of the people didn't quite believe it is, I grew up in American music. I grew up in American movies, watching American movies, American culture in general. So when I moved to the United States, it was almost easier to be able to assimilate, right? And the same thing when I served in the military, it was easy to be able to assimilate because all of those things, there was just pushback that I noticed from my experience. Again, my truth being African, being in America, it was you've come to take our opportunities, right? That was like
Yeah.
the narrative I was told, and I'm like, I don't think you're competing for the same things. And when I did move to the private sector, the jobs I was competing for, I was oftentimes the only black dude in the room,
Exactly. Yeah. I've never really like
right?
I've never
Like
really
rarely
competed
was
with
it.
black dudes for my jobs. I
Yeah,
really
rarely
never
was
had.
it that I did meet other black people, and if I did, oftentimes they were African. And I'm not saying that African Americans couldn't do the same jobs. No, definitely not. And I
They
try to
just do different
mentor
things,
them.
right? They
They just
do
do different things,
they're in
right? They
different
do different
industries.
things,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And like what I was saying is specifically for Kenya, I know for a fact, right? Again, to dispel the notion that Africans or specifically Kenyans hate African Americans is a lie. You know, I was talking about how like Thurgood Marshall back in the 1950s, late 50s and the early 60s helped the first Kenyan president, Jomo Kenyatta,
Yeah.
draft the first constitution
Yep.
of
Kwame
Kenya.
Nkrumah in Ghana too. Kwame Nkrumah
It's
in
the same
Ghana too.
thing, right?
Malcolm
It
X, Martin
was,
Luther
and
King, Du Bois,
we, yeah,
Du Bois,
right?
same.
And I've read Malcolm X's work. I love Malcolm X. Um, and I looking at my struggles in America and what that was like for me, right? Or looking at who I am as a person today. I align myself with a lot of African American. struggles, right? Because the world
Right,
doesn't really
right,
care.
right,
They look at me as like if I'm in an American city and I walk down the road, they don't see an African. They see a black person, right? Black
right,
American, African American, or whatever. So when I hear these terms like FBA or ADOS or I'm a tether or whatever, I'm like, what the
right, right.
fuck?
They're just
Like,
derogatory, but it's like
right. And to me, it's like, why are we dividing each other? Like, this is exactly why. I mean, this part of the problem is that we're dividing each other when we should really be coming together. And don't come to my country and think by the virtue that you're here, I number one sold you into slavery, or I dislike you because you're African American and I'm African. Like as I said, most Kenyans are curious people by nature, and they want to know, and they listen to the music and they watch the movies. But once you start acting a different way, and they're seeing the Austins and the KGs in the news, in the media, and then this whole thing with Jay Rello, right now, Kenya is a powder keg, and I say that because you've got a large unemployed young population. I'm talking about like
right.
20 and under the Gen Zers who've been protesting over the last couple of years.
They've
You
been
can look at the
protesting.
Kenyan
Yeah,
president.
yeah.
That dude is afraid of anything anybody says. He cannot even dare talk about shutting down the Twitter. So when you have a foreigner doing all kinds of things and disrespecting Kenyan women, we may treat our Kenyan women a specific way or different way, but when you see a foreigner actually do it and spiting us multiple times, now we have a problem.
I think that's what it is too. Like it's just how he moved, how Cirillo moved, really got a lot of people thinking that everybody else did what he did. And I heard one Kenyan creator say the the problem was not Jirello. The problem was more of the people that gave him money. The fact that 200, 300
Mm,
people gave him
yeah.
money, gave
And
them
you're
that
seeing the
consensus
comments
view
of
that
what they're
everybody thought the
saying,
same. Exactly.
right?
Yep.
Because you can go back to those videos and you can see the comments of what people are saying about Africans or African American, of just Kenyans in general, Kenyan women. So that got people upset. And that still is yet to stop, right? So
Right. Right.
anyone who's coming, and I've said this to Big Boss in different ways, right? Like, don't come to Kenya thinking that you're just gonna walk in like you did last year. It's a different space.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
You
And
may be
Kenyans
from
can,
Oakland. You may
like,
be quote unquote a boss from Oakland. But Kenyans, I'm telling you, man, that dude who's gonna go ahead and catch you the wrong way has nothing to lose.
Facts.
yeah, yeah,
Facts.
yeah. They really don't have
Facts.
much. They don't have much to
And
lose.
they
That's the
will
thing.
take
Yeah.
you out. And right now as we speak, there's a keg brewing, and I'll say it again, there's a keg brewing, right? So anybody who's in the country, whether that be the Austins of the world or the KGs, or again like Big Boss, who said it multiple times that he's coming, I'm
Facts.
saying you're not home. You're not at home.
Yes.
It's like me coming to
Yeah.
America, like when I joined the military, and all I'm doing is flying the American flag, Kenyan flag, and saying Kenyan this, Kenyan that. I'm gonna be treated a
Yeah.
certain kind of way.
I know
Yeah.
they kind of ganged up on you on this, and I want to ask you
I,
before I bring back on.
yeah, sure.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
they
Go
asked
ahead.
you. They asked you that would you fight your own people? And let me answer it the way I think it should, because if you ask me the same thing, will I fight Ghana uh, in a war? And the answer is yes, I would. And the reason is very simple. One, I'm American. So part of being a US citizen is you've actually sworn allegiance to America. So a naturalized citizen, people don't understand the concept of naturalization. Even if you're not born here, the fact that you're naturalized here, you are American and you have the
Yeah,
duty and obligation to keep this country stronger for your next descendants. Because my children are not going to go live in Ghana, right?
yeah,
The second part of the question that people don't understand is it's a hypothetical, and I understand that it's a hypothetical. But the countries that me and you are from are traditionally US allies.
they are. And
And
if you look at the way they're
and
aligned, yeah,
they don't have the power to even fight the US. So we know even when we're signing up, we know that this is never going to happen due to the fact that these
yeah,
countries depend they really depend on America, and they want to be like America in terms of democracies and freedoms, even though they
mhm.
do it a shitty way. And I have my own uh like I have my own, you
Yeah.
guys have seen it on the channel. I speak up when I hate certain things African governments do, but that I still know that the last thing they want to do is to take on the US for a fight. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I will say to answer your question about the part, you know, would I fight for America versus Kenya? And why I signed up to the US military? Well, finished high school, joined the military, and I took that oath, right? And I come from a warrior culture. We fight. And once you say you're gonna do something, in this case, I swore an oath to the US Constitution. That is the fight that I'm taking up, right? Born in Kenya, Kenyan American. There's if it's me fighting Kenya, I would do because I just have to do it. That's the Constitution
Right.
that I've signed up for. Now being out now, it's a totally different thing. There's different ways about it that because I'm no longer in that role, I'm no longer a soldier. Those days are long
Yeah.
gone for me.
And
So
also, like another thing that people don't consider is that the fact that you're born in a country doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that country does. Like
Exactly.
if these
yeah,
systems have failed over the years, you've been opposed to it. Some people are political asylums, like they've opposed these governments, or their families have opposed these governments, and they can't even stay in the country because
Mm,
of like what they
yeah,
do to opposition, right? So
yeah.
people migrate to the US for various reasons. But when you use that as a basis of not being called out, because you're saying, oh, why are you defending Kenya? And you're in the US and you're supposed to accept what all the degenerate stuff that we're doing in Kenya simply because you are living in the US. I'm like, no, you can't. It's like you can't compare the two. You know what I mean? Like if you're not doing righteous things over there, the fact that I'm in the US doesn't, you can't ask me why am I here as a
Mhm.
reason to do your bullshit over there. You're welcome to go
That's
there.
true. No, that's true.
You're welcome to go there. But I also call you out if you go there and you do shitty things.
yeah,
And it does you should never bring up the fact that I'm in the US as a reason to not call you out. And I see that a lot of these people do that. Let me bring
yeah.
back on what's up, my G?